To this day, they don't think they done anything wrong. They think they had every right to do what they did. We liked the property. It was remote, secluded, had a lot of potential, and it was pretty much everything that we wanted. And if it wasn't there, we could make it into what we wanted it to be. Most or 90% of the work was completed. And we didn't think there was anything wrong. We had complied with what we had thought we were supposed to do. A few weeks later, we received a letter from the Alcona County Health Department. 3 officials had come up on June 2nd and inspected the cabins, and that we weren't in compliance, that we needed to have a campground license in order to use the cabins as we had planned. You know, I explained numerous times that this was just for families. It wasn't used for the public, or we weren't going to rent spaces out, and was told it didn't matter, that there was 5 recreational structures on the property, and in order for us to use them, we had to have a campground license. Well, he cited a statute that defined the recreational cabins, so I took the time to look that up. And what I found out, and he failed to mention, was that the cabins or the recreational structures that he talked about had to be mobile. I then composed a letter that indicated all that on it, and they agreed. Well, not really agreed, I guess probably would be a bad term. They just said they weren't going to pursue it anymore. After that, again, we thought everything would be okay, but the exact day that we served that letter on them, we got a visit from the building department, Harry Harvey, the building official, and he came up with a prepared stop work order.
Well, Harry, as the building inspector, 200 square feet, do we need a building permit?
If you're sleeping in them, yes.
Where does it say that in the statute, though? I'm missing that.
And I said, well, when did this come about? Because you told me in the past I didn't need them. And he says, well, I just learned about it today.
Today, I found out if you're sleeping in them, you need a building permit.
When government officials are caught doing their job incorrectly, or they're trying to get a particular result, a lot of times they'll simply make up the rules that they think should apply. In this case, there wasn't anything in the local building rule that required the mini cabins to have a permit. They simply just made it up.
We had decided that in order to put this to rest, that we would purchase the building permits. We were advised that the cost of the building permits were going to be almost $3,000. I believe $2,980, which was double the amount that I had figured out. And when I questioned about that, and they said, you're right, they are double. And the reason they're double is because you built the cabins before you got permits. I said, well, you told me that I didn't need building permits in the beginning, and they admitted that. But they said just because we were wrong was not a good enough reason. Just totally unreasonable, especially after being told we didn't need them. Our next step was we could appeal it to the county construction board. Well, then when we requested that, we were advised that Alcona County didn't have one, even though it was our understanding from the state that every county had to have one, but they didn't have one. So they told us that our only option was to go to the county commissioners. I went to a county commissioner meeting and our request was denied.
The U.S. Constitution protects citizens from abuses by government officials and by overreach by those government officials. The Mockeridges federal lawsuit seeks to remedy these violations by bringing a Fourth Amendment lawsuit before the federal courts here in Michigan.
We will not settle the case unless we have a judgment, and that judgment is going to prevent them from doing it in the future, because then they'll know that what they did was wrong and that they shouldn't do it again.